Oh, it's so great to enjoy a wonderful spring day with Explore Tulsa. And before you know it, it'll be National Fishing Day.
Well, that's not until June 18th, but it's always best to be prepared.
I was really never that great at fishing.
Yeah, let me guess. You couldn't keep quiet long enough and kept chasing the fish away.
Hardy har har. No, it's because I never was very good at making fishing lures.
Not a problem, because right here in Tulsa, Gene Larew Lures makes some of the best in the fishing game.
Gene Larew and Bobby Garland, they're the two of the biggest names in soft plastic innovation in fishing lures in the history of fishing. So we're real proud of having both of those names, as part of our company. Just anywhere you could find water, there might be a fish. That's where I would try to go find with my one rod and reel. All you do is pond jump, and I ran around Creek County and all over Tulsa County, the strip pits over in Broken Arrow. Actually, we had a little place on Grand Lake that we had 35 years ago. Both my daughter and son were raised right there. I've got a picture of him, 2-year-old. He's holding up a bass, on the dock. And my daughter, when she was 4, when we would clean fish, she had to hold every fish and hand it to us before we could clean it. So yeah, they got into it at a very early age. It turned out we acquired Bobby Garland Custom Baits, and the crappie lures that we came up with became very popular, and now they're extremely popular after 9 years and coming out with new products every year. But I think Bobby Garland, basically, there's a lot of crappie fishermen out there, and there's more and more today than there were 20 years ago. Today you can also crappie fish and you get to take them home. So it's that old saying of, what are you fishing for? And I'm fishing for dinner. Obviously, the easier it is to fish a lure, the easier it is to catch a fish. And we have, a lure called a biffle bug and a hardhead, which all you have to do is cast it out and retrieve it back in. Just bring it back in and just hit the rocks. Now, you can't get much more simple than that. And it's been very successful, but it's been very successful because a lot of people have learned how to fish it with no difficulties. It's not like jigging or worming or trying to feel. You just cast it out there and reel it back in and cast it again, and you'll feel the fish hit. So the easier the technique is, obviously the more people will try it. And several people have told me that they've caught their first fish or their biggest fish doing that, but it's a fish catcher. We start from scratch with a new idea and a new concept of something that is lacking out there that we think is going to have a lot of action and be a fish attractant. So we talk to our pro staffers, we get ideas, we'll get solder guns, we'll cut legs off, we'll do all kinds of stuff, Frankenstein, basically a body, and get a look for it. And then basically you draw it out, and then we'll send it off to a mold maker, and they'll do an AutoCAD print of it, and then we'll get a prototype mold. And once you make a dozen or 2 dozen and you take them into the swimming pool, or you take them to see what kind of action they have, or they're running the right way and they're steady and that, once we decide on what we're going to do it, then we commission the production mold. And then the production mold may be 2.5 feet tall and 16 inches wide and hold multi-cavities to go on our machines. Eli, our manager here, he's the one that came up with Sooner Run for Tommy's biffle bug color. And there's only one I've ever named, and it was a crappie bait baby shad with kind of purple and a lot of silver glitter in it, and it's real sparkly. And I looked at it and I said Vegas. I mean, it just reminded me of Vegas colors. And so that stuck, but that's the only one I've ever named out of all the names, and we probably have 2,000 names. We're proud of being here in Tulsa and that our product's made here, and we ship all over the United States, and then we ship all over the world too. So it's been quite a nine-year ride, to say the least, but it's been successful. That's the good part.